Hello ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Jim Makes a Cartoon. I'm Jim and I'm making a cartoon. This week I'm working on the latest episode of Dictator Cat, which came out last Friday. If you haven't seen it already, links are in the usual places in the upper right corner as well as in the video description below. Go ahead and watch that if you haven't already, because if you haven't seen that episode, there are some minor spoilers here. Go ahead and pause, I'll wait for you. Alright, you back? Awesome. So right now I'm designing the insignia used by the character that I've decided to call Freedom Squirrel. And one of you noticed something. 3 Bafis cartoons, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, caught that it's loosely based on the CIA's logo. I had a lot of fun coming up with this design. I still haven't decided if this last episode of Dictator Cat technically counts as episode 6, since it's really an extended ending for episode 5, but I just kept thinking it would be funny if the line between Supreme Leader Strule's fantasy and reality was really blurred, much like a lot of actual conspiracy theories. Like, you don't even know if the whole squirrel agency is real, imagined by Strudel, imagined by Freedom Squirrel, or a little bit of all of these things. Like in the previous blog where I talk about end of the world prophecies, I feel like a lot of conspiracy theories are also created by an inflated ego, a sense of self-importance. But at the same time, there's often a little bit of truth to it. Most notably the NSA PRISM program, where there were a lot of breaches of privacy that I think a lot of people wouldn't have believed existed if there wasn't documentation about it. But at the same time, a lot of the people who were telling us technically true things about government spying also believe some of the crazier stuff, like lizard people living underground, or that whole flat earth argument that happened a few months ago. And I guess maybe that's a little bit how the Dictator Cat's mind works. Like, he saw that squirrel go after a walnut in episode 5, and you know if the door was open and the squirrel had the opportunity, it would probably go for the bowl of walnuts that's inside the house. But like I said, I don't know how much of this is imagined and how much is real anymore. I guess it's because this is the first time I've done something that's semi-long form, with a continuity with regular characters. Apparently this happens with a lot of creators, where the characters and stories start to take on a life of their own. Like, you start to lose track of what you're writing and what they're writing. You almost feel like you've started to lose a little bit of control over your characters. They've kind of taken on a life of their own. It's an interesting feeling, and it really has me thinking longer term about where I want to go with this channel and other projects I have in the coming years. I really like the really short, quick comedy sketches of Welcome to Boulder Dash, but at the same time, with Dictator Cat, I really like building this little cast of characters and their world. So a lot of you here know I tend to start a new project just about every year, so I've really started considering what's going to come up in 2017. Yeah, I know it's only August, but I'm trying to get better about planning and preparation so I don't fall behind as often. As always, I am open to suggestions, whether it be for the blogs or for future cartoons. Please let me know what you think in the comments section, and I do want to thank you all for the comments and likes I've gotten on the last few videos. It really does mean worlds to me. Well, that's it for today. I've got to get back to work on some other animated content. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, remember to share, just like you share the story about that time you totally had a perfect comeback to your boss and the whole office started clapping. I'll see all of you amazing people next Friday.